Thank you for listening. A list of content warnings can be found in the episode description. Take care. Enjoy the show. Planescape Torment, the Unofficial audio series. A narrative let's play adapted and produced by RevocerGM, combining in-game audio with additional voice acting through dialogue and descriptions to improve your listening experience. Rediscover the amazing story of the 1999 cult classic isometric video game, Planescape Torment, like you've never heard before. Nothing. Nothing. If there were truly nothing, you'd cease to think, to exist.
Nothing can stop nothing, you know.
Even as you feel your essence fall away, you know there cannot be nothing while you still act. Remembering the trinket Kandrian had gifted you in the smoldering corpse bar, you hold onto this piece of nothing, bringing solidity to the void. And you feel your body at the edge of fading. You feel the darkness that surrounds you, hungry now, made curious by this defiance. Whatever form you've given it, it is now watching you very closely. Like the depths of an ocean, you feel the pressure building around you, oppressive and unyielding. Jealous of your warmth and life, you feel it pouring at your body, clutching you tight. As it begins to overwhelm you, you grasp and claw for something, for hope. Hope that there is an existence beyond this boundary, that not all will fade into oblivion. Hope. The Silent King. A blasting cold scrapes at your skin as new air forms about you. Your blood, a rimy sludge, runs now dully through your limbs. Shards of ice splinter at your pores, gripping you in hoary frost. You feel your tongue cleave to the back of your throat, freezing like a block of meat. A crack of light pierces ahead, colorless, alien in the enveloped gloom. With no solid ground beneath, you force your numbing feet to tread as tar-thick shadows ripple and swell at your movement. The darkness pulls on your bones as you wade towards the fissure, sapping your strength with every stride. The crack grows, opening as you approach. Light forms into solid mass, walls press around you. And you are walking. A hallway, tiles stretch at each of your steps. Then a door, a dark panel of slate. You press forwards, skin thawing with every breath. You cross the threshold and find yourself in a large chamber. Shale crunches beneath your feet, and gentle light flickers over a wide platform. The rising steps are lined with glassy tombs, each filled with skulls and shattered bone. And at the heart of this great plinth stands a throne, ribs reaching out like limbs. Clawed within its grasp sits the ancient husk of a human. This withering corpse, almost impressive in its engraved parade armor, is apparently the Silent King. The lord and master of the dead nations appears now to be little more than a desiccated shell.
Stop this heresy!
A great clang of metal colliding with stone shakes the chamber, and three figures disembark onto the platform. Hargrim, Stale Mary, and a colossal guardian of bone.
Do not approach the Silent King!
There is an authority to his voice that roots you in place. Do not resist. The giant skeleton strides towards you, readying its gargantuan blade. It need not come to violence, Chief.
What do we do?
It's all right. I want to hear what they have to say.
Hargrim rises into the air and floats down before you, fear and power emanating from his staff in a swirling vortex.
So, thou have come.
Against all odds you have come. The skeleton turns to gaze upon the massive throne.
What thou see here is the end of our culture.
Perhaps a beginning.
None must know that the king speaks only silence.
How long has this gone on?
Long.
Too long. Hargrim stares off into the shadows stretching back beyond the throne.
He stopped speaking to us ages ago. He himself has left for the thrice-damned true death. This husk is all that remains.
Rage and despair roil and spark about him.
He has abandoned us here to suffer amongst the living. We have become the prey of all that lives.
Then why claim he still rules?
He rules because he must.
Mary and I speak for the Silent King. We rule in his stead.
How?
We interpret the wishes of the Silent King based on what he said many long years ago. It has not been easy.
Hargrim looks tired. He sags beneath the weight of an invisible burden, and the energies firing from his staff diminish.
Many questions. Many questions do I have for him.
We speak for the Silent King, to keep the dead nations in hope. Without that, we have nothing.
Why can't you tell your people the truth?
We wish to preserve what we have created. I do not wish to die.
Stale Mary looks to Hargrim, forlorn sadness etched on her face. Nor I.
But why must it lead to that?
What dost thou mean?
If you've led the dead nations all this time, is that not enough?
It may be.
Such talk is treason.
But what about hope? You said yourself, you keep the dead nations in hope. And without that, you have nothing. But with that, you have everything. What is the Silent King if not the hope for a life beyond? That belongs to you. You hold that with your people.
He speaks a truth, Hargrim.
That may be so. But what if our people were to learn of this? Would that hope hold true? Or what if Acasti were to discover the deception? Or many as one of the cranium rats? All that we have created here would be destroyed.
What if your people knew truth and held that hope as a beacon? All of the power of the dead nations built on conviction, not on the lies of some husk.
This husk is all that keeps the inner and outer enemies at bay. If the truth were spoken, our civilization would become dust.
Listen, Hargrim. He found his way here.
You led him.
He survived.
That's right. You did.
Hargrim turns to you with renewed curiosity.
How is it thou didst not perish on the journey here?
I'm not certain. Your people deserve to know the truth.
I cannot force thee to be silent. But I would ask thee to look beyond thyself, to consider the risk of shattering all that we know.
Is there no other way?
There is.
What?
Mary looks to your scars, then deep into your eyes, her empty sockets glowing blue and gold. Look upon the throne. You see now, looking more closely, The throne itself has knotted around the husk of the Silent King, weaved like stitches of bone into his armor and through his body. You sense its power is as much the ruler as the one who sits upon it, a symbol of its dominion over death.
You could mantle a new king.
Yes.
Yes. But they must be alive when they sit upon the throne. It will accept no other. Once a person takes the throne, they may not leave it. I do not ask this of you.
Surely there's someone.
Few make it to the dead nations.
And fewer still have the will to pass the boundary alive. Hargrim, Mary, the Guardian, and even Mort look to you with a mixture of fear, sorrow, and desperation.
I am sorry. I only wish to leave.
You feel a dread twist within your stomach as you recognize this proclamation now to be your only escape.
Grant me this, and you shall have my silence.
Hargrim holds still for a moment.
I thought as much. I fear you cannot remain in the dead nations with this knowledge. It would be too dangerous.
Consider him. I can't. Let me leave, and you'll hear no more of me.
Stale Mary seems to shrink slightly and wither beyond even her ancientness.
Thou may leave this place.
He turns to the skeletal guardian.
Go, now. Guide him over the crossing to the dead nations. And I beg of thee, living, honor thy word.
Farewell.
This massive skeleton, far larger than any human and adorned in ornate bronze armor engraved with elaborate symbols, leads you onto a small ferry moored to the platform. Without a noise or lurch, you begin to slip away, the chamber of the Silent King shrinking into the darkness. You sail along the emptiness in silence and without challenge. The terror and loss of your journey here seems banished by the presence of your enormous guardian.
Greetings. What are you?
Greetings, living. I, as a royal guard of his lord and majesty the Silent King, am warden of this passage, and have been so for an age. I must ask that you not draw me from my task with questions.
Why does he need guards? He's dead, after all.
The Silent King is more than just a wizened corpse, living. Even in those long-past days when he spoke to us, the Silent King was more than just that fine man. The Silent King is an institution, one which I now, as I have for the last 200 years, devoutly defend. His great will lives on through the voices of Hargrim and Stale Mary, and until my bones are dust beneath the heel of a greater foe, so shall it always.
The giant's skeletal features look as if they were carved from pure marble, a beauty and power beyond mortal form.
Yeah. Well, could you at least tell me who you are? Or were?
I am in death as I was in life, one of the 99 sons of the Azure Mountains, fathered when the member of Amahar was severed and cast down upon the face of Aether. Honor bound to defend our queen, we were lost to this world when ours and our lady with it was destroyed by an angry godling, a brother to Amahar. Many of our number roam the plains, but some, like myself, chose to remain in Sigil. When I passed away, I was interred here, and later awoke in the state you find me in now. I then chose a new master, the Silent King, to defend.
I see.
The natural warm glow of torchlight draws in, and you see a gateway approach.
Take care, living. Many will wonder at your return from this place.
Noted. The great iron doors close behind you, and with relief, you are back in the polished halls of the Dead Nations, free now to leave and continue exploring the catacombs. As warned, your return from the Silent King has drawn the attention of the citizens here. A small crowd has gathered, struck in awe as you pass. You hear whispers of denial, some of anger, and stepping out from them all, you see Swago. A worried smile stretches across his face that barely disguises the tension behind his eyes.
A friend, how is it that you walk through those doors that none but the dead have passed in known memory?
Swago, I must leave. I think it would be good if you joined me.
Chief, I cannot. I must stay. I have my mission.
For the Dustman.
Yes, of course.
You can sense the lie twisting within him.
What did you find that has brought on such urgency?
Nothing worth knowing. You can see, of the crowd less pleased by your return, a pack of ghouls have gathered, the hunger in their eyes rabid and fierce. Hargrim has offered our freedom. I suggest it's time for us all to leave.
What did you tell him?
His mouth twitches slightly. Nothing, Swago. I must go. Consider it. You and Mort stride through the hallways towards the chapel, rushing past clusters of the dead as they begin to gather at the commotion. While you may have been granted freedom, many of these denizens want to know what a mortal may have been doing in the chamber of their Silent King. Dozens of walking corpses block the corridor, reaching and grabbing as you pass. Hey, back off. Chief, what's going on? I don't know. Let's find Dakon and get out of here. You push through the throngs of the undead and reach the chapel door. It is barred shut. Dakon, are you in there? You've returned. Good. The denizens here have grown restless. I feared you'd met with conflict. Right. We're fine. Come on, let's get our things. We're leaving. Dakon ushers you in and closes the door behind him. What knowledge did you find? The weapon or the shield? The kind of weapon I don't want to have to use.
Ah, friend. Quite a stir amongst the dead. I could hardly keep up.
Swago, as I said, we need to find our way out of here. You should join us and escape.
You don't understand. I cannot escape. I have much to do.
Swago, I know. But none of that will matter if those ghouls tear you to shreds.
What do you mean? You know.
His eyes flicker towards his bedroll on the altar and the pages folded beneath. Swago, stay calm. Once we're out of here, I'll tell you everything.
Stay calm. Tell what you know. You saw the Silent King. What did he say?
Swago, don't worry. Your mission is complete. Come with us and I'll explain.
What do you know?
Veins begin to bulge on his face and neck, as if his skin could scarcely contain him. I know about Many as One. Swago, none of that matters right now.
What did you say? Many as One?
It's all right. I can help, I think.
And how did you come about such a name? Have you been spying?
No. Yes, I saw your journal.
My journal? I see. You push your fate, scarred one.
He begins heaving at the chest.
Maybe this was one mistake too many.
What do you mean? Suddenly, his joints pop in a startling transformation.
What the?
His body cracks, his skin stretches, and he begins sprouting fur and needle-like fangs.
No!
Dakon springs to action, whirling his glaive in the air, but the wererat dodges the blade, spurred by preternatural speed. He leaps forward, barreling into your chest, teeth gnashing at your throat. You focus the pain, and the blood pouring into his mouth begins to sizzle and burn. As he reels back, you roll away, and Dakon lunges forwards.
Leave it!
Red foam gushes from Swago's maw.
Spare me your pity, Skyway.
Enough! It needn't end like this.
Blasphemy!
Hargrim, flanked by several guardians, strides into the chapel.
Bind this abomination quickly!
They march forward, cornering the were-rat, chittering now like a beast.
Stay back!
Mark my words, creature. Only the trust protects thee. See that it never leaves this chamber. Bring it food and water as necessary.
But you can't.
Do not cast aside thy only shield so thoughtlessly.
I won't be caged. Die!
As Swago launches into one of the skeletons, a bolt of lightning sears across the room, smiting him into the dust.
No!
It is done then. May the Silent King protect us from such filth.
Swago's body, lying charred on the chapel floor, begins to revert to his mundane form, the fur receding from his pale skin.
Swago.
What is the meaning of this? Swago. Tell me, Scarred One, what treachery have I witnessed here? Speak. Immediately. Thy freedom is dependent upon it.
Swago was in league with many as one. He was here in the Dead Nations as a spy.
'Tis treason.
Hargrim strikes his staff into the ground. It's clear. Seeing Swago slain by his own magic has shaken him.
Can you offer proof to support this accusation?
There's proof in his journal under the bedroll.
One of the guards hands the wad of pages to Hargrim.
So be it. It seems we owe you thanks, Scarred One. Such a traitor in our midst could have... I think thou hast more than earned thy leave. I suggest you take the privilege quickly.
Thank you. We will.
Guards, escort them out. See to it they make it past our borders safely. I urge you not to return.
Understood.
Just as you had arrived, you are now made to exit. Filed in step with a cadre of armored skeletons, you march down the tiled corridors, leaving the Dead Nations behind.
Thank you for listening to Planescape Torment, the unofficial audio series, a RevocerGM production. To support the show and those involved, please consider subscribing to our Patreon or donating via our Ko-fi page. Links to both are in the description.